What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Golden State Media Concepts Basketball Podcast. I'm your host, Pauline, and in this episode 4, we are going to do a wrap-up of the NBA Finals as well as a little bit of a draft preview. The draft is tomorrow, so stick around to see what's up.
Need your daily fix on mixed martial arts?
We're going to kind of recap Bellator 155 from UFC 198.
Who's who?
Kind of a controversial decision.
And who's not.
I couldn't figure out why, and then it hit me.
Well, don't you fret, because Golden State Media Concepts got you covered. Get your daily dose of MMA podcast. Everything from the UFC, Bellator Fighting Championships, Extreme Cage Fighting, Invicta Fighting Championships, and so much more. Join us as we talk about some of the biggest names in mixed martial arts. We've got you covered here on Golden State Media Concepts MMA Podcast.
And we're back. Thank you for tuning in to the Golden State Media Concepts Basketball Podcast. Once again, I'm Pauline. And if you don't know, now you know, the Cavaliers are the kings of the court. You know, they finally brought it home for Cleveland, Believe Land. You know, it's been 54 years since there's been a championship in Cleveland. So I know they are hyped. Today was their parade day, which I'm sure is I'm sure. I don't know why it would stop. I mean, I would still be partying. If I was Cleveland, I would be partying for another 54 years just off this one championship. So I'm sure they're having a great time. And, you know, it was a really fun series. I did learn this series, especially if you've been sticking with me through these last couple of episodes. I am a terrible predictor on what's going to happen. The only thing that I said correctly in regards to the series was that I was hoping that it would go into a game 7, which it did, but I actually predicted in the beginning a sweep for the Golden State Warriors. That was wrong. I did also say that I wanted the Warriors to be able to play game 7 at home and win at home because they had an away win last year. So that was wrong as well. So next time you guys listen and I give a prediction, you should probably do opposite of what I say and you'll probably be all right. This game 7 of the NBA Finals was actually the game with the most like bets as far as like money is concerned. So it had the highest amount of money being bet on this game. So if you lost money, I'm sorry. If you won money, you know, let's go out. Let's go celebrate. Since everybody's winning money except for me. So anyways, I was looking at tickets for the game for game 7 and they were going for like ridiculously high prices. But I mean, if you were in the arena and you're a Cavs fan, I'm sure it was worth it. So congratulations to you. I wish I could have been in there. That would have been a lot of fun. But anyway, so last time we spoke, it was up into game 5. So game 6 was played at home for the Cavaliers in Cleveland. They won 115-101. I think that game really picked up their momentum. That was a game that really solidified that they were not going down without a fight. They've been playing really hard these last few games, but that home game, I think, really gave them that extra boost to carry over into game 7 and to win this. Game 6 was also when Steph got fined for throwing his mouthpiece after a call that he did not like, which I kind of wish I was that fan that got hit with it. I don't know if it would have hurt. I guess maybe because he was throwing it kind of hard and it was a mouthpiece. But how cool would that be to say that you had Steph's mouthpiece? It's kind of gross, I guess, in a way. But if you're a fan, that's cool. You could auction it, I guess. You could keep it for yourself and just say that that happened to you. Because I mean, that mouthpiece is pretty famous thanks to Steph Curry. So like, I think it would be kind of cool to have that mouthpiece for yourself. I don't know what I would do with it. Maybe put it in a case. Maybe ask him to sign like a paper or something to keep with it. I think that would be kind of cool. I don't know. If I was that fan, I would think it was great, whether I was a Cavaliers fan or a Warriors fan, whatever. I would love that. And so, but that kind of showed, when Steph Curry threw his mouthpiece, it kind of showed how frustrated the Warriors were that game in game 6. You know, they could have sealed the deal right then. They had already lost a game. They were in danger again of losing for the second time in a row, and they just looked like they were falling apart as far as where their mindsets were, and they were getting frustrated. Even Steph, who's usually pretty calm, cool, and collected, he was upset, clearly. He threw his mouthpiece and everything. So he apologized, of course, to the fan, which, I mean, it just gets, like, how cool is that? You get hit with his mouthpiece and he comes over to apologize to you. That's just so cool to me. So, and that was also after the game when Ayesha Curry had tweeted that she thought, that she believes that the NBA is rigged. Now, it may or may not be. I know that there's a lot of politics that go into sports just in general. There's a lot of politics that happen at the high school level, the college level, especially the college level, like with boosters and things like that. There's a lot of politics that goes into that, as well as at the professional level. It is a business. So I wouldn't be surprised if there is, I mean, Ayesha just made that statement, of course, out of anger and frustration. And it's okay, I think, to say certain things when you're in the comfort of your home, like with your husband or like your friends, your family, and things like that. But of course, Twitter and the social media world just went crazy because she tweeted this, and everybody just went crazy because it's Ayesha. And I think that her and Steph, people think that they're not allowed to get angry or allowed to feel like bad about things and say things that are negative because they're usually shown in a positive light. But I mean, they're allowed to have feelings, and so she's allowed to tweet and say whatever she wants, actually. But I know that everybody was like, oh, how dare she say this, like, you know, especially when they're losing, and she wasn't saying that it was rigged when they were winning all of those games during the regular season. So I mean, whatever, you know, she's allowed to say whatever she wants. But that just goes to show, like, even a lot, I'm sure she was saying what a lot of Golden State Warriors fans were saying, that it was rigged and that they should have won and all of that. But I mean, you got a game 7, and that's just, it could have went either way in game 7. And game 7 really was a back and forth game the entire time. So it really could have went to anyone in game 7. Both teams played really hard. It was a lot of fun it was like almost like if you got up, I was watching game 7 with my uncle and my aunt. They came over, and they're huge Warriors fans. My uncle, he was wearing a Steph Curry jersey, and then when he took the jersey off, he had a Steph Curry shirt underneath. Like, he's just full on. He's from the Bay Area, so he loves the Golden State Warriors. The rest of my family, they were going for the Warriors, but we're Kings fans, so, you know, we hopped on that bandwagon. I guess my parents like to say, you know, you got to represent for the West Coast regardless of what team, but you know how that goes. Everybody's, you know, I'm not going to say too much about that, but people do bandwagon, but that's fine, whatever. So basically everyone that I was watching the game with was going for the Warriors. And so needless to say, it was not a happy house. At the end of the game, I did not, you know, I'm just watching the game to see what's going to happen, but everybody else had their emotions, tied in with it. But the fun thing about the game 7 was you couldn't really get up to eat, because it was almost like if you got up to get something, to get a water or to get seconds or whatever, you were going to miss something, because it was that much back and forth playing between the two teams. And there was a lot of lead changes, a lot of ties. So up into really the last minute of the game, it was back and forth. And so as far as saying like the NBA is rigged, I think they let them play, especially that game 7. It's been a real physical series the whole entire, you know, finals. So I think that game 7 was really good as far as like officiating and just letting them play and things like that. So it was a lot of fun. And one thing that I love about the way that Golden State plays is I just really love Draymond Green. Like, I love the way he plays. I know he does some crazy things as far as like how he fouls and things like that, but when he's hyped up, you could just tell how hyped he was getting, and like the crowd was loving it, and that's just a lot of fun to watch. He was shooting threes, he was doing his thing. So Draymond, you know, shout out to you. They just have, I think, a really good dynamic. I know Oracle, has been said it's hard to play in there as far as being an imposing team because it's just so loud and the fans are so crazy, but the Cavaliers we're doing it. And the Cavaliers made sure, I think the one thing that I saw that was different for the Cavaliers in this game of Game 7 was that they stayed playing their game. They did not try to push it and run fast because to keep up with the Warriors, they really slowed the game down to their speed, like the speed that they play comfortably at, because the Warriors, they're quick and they can shoot off like they do not need to really be set to shoot those threes or to make plays. They're really good at pushing the ball up the court and getting those quick shots off really quickly. And I think that's something that the Cavaliers struggled with in the beginning of the series, was trying to play up, like trying to play at the Golden State Warriors pace and going too fast and too hard too early. And I think that's where they were kind of suffering and not. So the Game 7 was nice to see that these last few games, especially in Game 7, they controlled the pace. When they wanted to go fast, they went fast. When they wanted to slow it down, they slowed it down. And I think that's really an advantage for the Cavaliers in Game 7. But it looks like we're going to take a break real fast. And when we come back, we're going to finish talking about Game 7 as well as some draft preview. It's going to be exciting these next few weeks. There's a lot going on in the basketball world. So I will talk to you guys about that when we come back. You're listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Basketball Podcast.
Are you looking for the very best NFL and college football podcast? Then check out the GSMC Football Podcast. Get the latest football news both on and off the field. From the NFL Draft to trades to the rumor mill to the NFL Combines. They got you covered. That's GSMCpodcast.com/football-podcast. Get updates on college rivalries, game day insights, and much, much more. It's football talk the way you want it. This show eats, sleeps, and breathes football. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
And welcome back to the Golden State Media Concepts Basketball Podcast. I'm Pauline, and before the break, we were finishing talking up about Game 7 of the NBA Finals, and like I was saying, it was a great game. I think that the Cavaliers really did a good job of, setting the pace and really controlling the game, and I think that was to their best advantage. I know that LeBron was really a major factor in that. He is undoubtedly the leader of the team. He's the most experienced when it comes to finals appearances and things like that. And so it was really nice. I know that he really had a hard time with the team when he first went back to Cleveland, and he talked about it being really unprofessional and like the young guys. And so, working with those young guys and getting them all on the same page and getting a really good work ethic, And so it was really nice to see them coming together this series. I know that it's difficult to be a leader for a team. Some leaders are better by leading by example. Other leaders are good by talking them up, but it really looked like he was able to get them focused these last few games. And he did lead by example. I think that he did a good job of showing his team how to get it done. He did pretty much average a triple-double the last 3 games of the series. He averaged 36 points, 11 rebounds, and I think it was 9.7 assists. So that's pretty much a triple-double. And so that's the thing about him, is that I was glad that he finally made that shift to just lead by example. He has been playing really well the entire series, of course, but sometimes you have to play better than well. You have to play great. You have to play amazing, especially when you have to carry a team. And he really did that. And I think that's also where the Warriors fell short, is that they played collectively well together, yes, and their bench has, I've been saying that since the first episode is that the Warriors, their supporting cast really has been stepping up and being a great supporting cast, even sometimes outshining the starters. But like Stephen Curry, I don't think he had good games, but he didn't have any outstanding or amazing games this series. And I think that is a big deal. And I think that shows as to why, when you're depending on certain players to have outstanding games and to play really hard and to deliver certain, to deliver points, to deliver certain plays, to make great decisions, and you're just playing well. See, anybody else, if they were putting up, if they were playing what we consider well for LeBron or well for Steph, they would be considered playing great, but that's not good enough for superstars like that. If you're going to be claiming to be the number one player in the league or whatever, and people are depending on you to show out, you got to do it. And so I think that is something that fell apart for the Warriors. James, now, I don't know what you guys think was your favorite play of the game. I know that especially in Game 7, there was a lot of things going on in Game 7. It was a lot of fun to watch. I'm sure for Cleveland, a lot of Cleveland fans, you would, of course, say that the winning shot by Kyrie Irving would be your favorite play. But my favorite play, which is also another play was LeBron James' block on Andre Iguodala's layup. And so he's on one side of the court, and he has to run all the way down and block that shot, and his head damn near was at the rim, if not above it. So that alone is just amazing that he was able to get up that high. But that just showed his aggressiveness, his athleticism, and his drive to make sure that they were going to win. Like, he was literally doing impossible things and to make sure that his team was going to win that game. He literally was giving it his all. I think that was the first time that he's played he played a lot of minutes, especially the second half. He was not resting. And that was what I was worried about. I was really worried that he would lose some steam and get tired. And I know a lot of Warriors fans were betting on that he would start tiring out because he was playing so much, especially in that second half. He was not getting any break, but he didn't. He was playing strong. He had that mentality that this is the last game this is the last shot that we have to win this championship, to bring this thing home and ultimately write history. I don't know if you guys have been watching basketball these last few days, then you will know this, but this is the first time ever in the history of the NBA that a team has come back being down 3-1 and winning the series, winning the championship. And I think it's only like the third time that a team has even forced a Game 7. And it's really surprising that it happened to the Warriors. I guess you could say that the Warriors have still continued to write history because this is the first time in history that a team has lost being up 3-1. So that's kind of, still writing history. It's not the kind of history that you want to write. And that's not taking away from their season that they've had. They've had a great season, but I'm worried this season almost gets overshadowed by the fact that they did not win the championship. And it's not like they just didn't win the champ, but to be up 3-1, you just need one more game. And this is the first time that they've lost 3 in a row as well, and they're losing at home. It's just wild to me that that this happened to the Warriors. You guys already know I predicted them to go to a Game 7 and for the Warriors to win at home. So I'm shocked by this as well. And I'm not even a Warriors fan. Like I've said before, I'm a Kings fan, but I was really hoping that they would get a repeat. But on the flip side, the Cleveland Cavaliers, they deserved it just as much as well. James made that promise to the Cavaliers fan base and made it to basically a promise to all of Cleveland that this is what they were going to do. It hasn't been long for him to deliver on his promise, which is kind of cool. He came in. I know he's had a lot of doubters, and I don't know, you LeBron haters, I'm wondering, are you guys still hating on him? Do you guys still have a stance to hate on him? Is there still something bad you can say? I'm just wondering, you can hit me up on Twitter at GSMC_basketball. It's the Twitter account for this podcast, the basketball podcast. So tweet at me, let me know, do you LeBron haters still have a leg to stand on? That's what I'm wondering, because I know that a lot of people were saying that if he were to lose this series, he can't deliver on being the greatest player, and that by losing this series, it shows that he's always choking. He has no ice in his veins. That, yeah, he's a good overall player, but he can't get a ring, all that. I mean, was also voted MVP of the finals, of course, won that. So he took that home. So, I mean, let me know what you guys think, because that's what I'm wondering is, what is your argument now as far as LeBron is concerned being in the category of the best player, at least right now? I know that Steph is a competitor for that title for the league today, but I don't know, because I know, of course, with everything, there's always people that always have something else to say, and you're always going to have haters, especially if you're somebody like LeBron and you're doing something great. So I'm just wondering, and so let me know. Once again, that's at GSMC_basketball, because I'm wondering. Let me know. I truly want to know. So if you have a good stance and you can back it up, or even if you can't back it up, you just have an opinion, let me know that too, because that's what I'm wondering. But anyways, to wrap up Game 7, Kyrie hit that 3-pointer to basically seal the deal for Cleveland, and Curry could not. It was really weird because Curry was not able to hit shot that he normally hits, and then Kyrie runs it back, and hits that 3. And I was watching an interview that was featuring Kyrie Irving after the game, and he said that he had that Mamba mentality, which is Kobe, if you don't know, Kobe. So, and Kyrie just knew that they needed a 3-point, like 2 would be good, but 3 would be great. And so that's just like exciting for him too. He, especially after last season and not being able to really play in the championship series last season and have to watch it from literally a hospital bed to shooting the game winner for Game 7 of the NBA Finals this year. That's just a major turnaround for him. You guys know that I love comeback stories. I love it when somebody comes back from an injury and does something great. I've been, really singing praises to Sean Livingston of what a great series and postseason that he's had. And so I'm really excited and happy for Kyrie. That must be just personally, that's just amazing for him. I'm sure that he's very proud of himself, and the people that he has around him are just so proud of him and what he's done. And I think that goes to, again, LeBron being able to rally everybody, and everybody having a specific piece and being that leader that everybody has a part to play. And Kyrie stepped up and played his part, and then they won. And if you guys have ever watched, if you watched the celebrations and everything at the end of the game, I personally was not able to. I told you guys I was watching with Warriors fans. So after, the final buzzer hit, my dad and my uncle wanted to change the channel. Like, they did not want to hear about LeBron. They didn't want to hear about the Cavaliers. So I wasn't even able to watch the celebrations afterwards. I had to record it and watch it later because they were just so through with me and just through with the game. My uncle, he was really upset, so I couldn't even watch all of that. So I had to record everything. Thank the Lord for DVR. Watch all of those celebrations after, which I thought were a lot of fun. I mean, I can't imagine what it feels like to win a championship, especially for a city that is so deserving of it. They're so faithful. The fans in Cleveland are so faithful to all their sports. I feel like all of Ohio, you guys just really love sports, which is great. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. And so congratulations. It's been a long road. There's one lady, I read an article who said that Cleveland has never won a championship in her entire life. So so that was kind of cool to hear. A shout out to her. I'm happy for her. I think she's like in her late 50s, but whatever. So we're going to take a quick break. This is the Golden State Media Concepts Basketball Podcast.
Are you looking for help for your fantasy football team? Check out the GSMC Fantasy Football Podcast. Get today's best advice on who to start, who to sit, even who you should draft. From sleeper picks to red hot lineups, they got it all covered for you. That's GSMCpodcast.com/fantasy-football-podcast. We'll cover traditional leagues, dynasty, PPR, even IDP leagues. When you need fantasy help, there's just one show to hit up. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
And we're back. This is a Golden State Media Concepts basketball podcast. Game 7, it's done. Congratulations to Cleveland. You know, like I said, it's been a long time coming. You guys deserved it. LeBron, congratulations. I know that, like I said before, I would be celebrating forever. I would be like J.R. Smith. I don't know. I had to rewatch the celebrations and the after, not the after game, the post games and everything later on that night because everybody was salty in my house. So I had to do that on my own time, which is cool, not a problem. But I would be like J.R. Smith. Like, he came off the plane in Cleveland the next day shirtless. Like, he's still in party mode. He's still in celebration mode. J.R. Smith, he is just a funny guy. I feel like he's just always down. Like, he's just always down for whatever. I mean, why not? And I don't know if you guys saw LeBron's shirt. He had a shirt on that said Ultimate Warrior, which again is just so fun. It's funny when you see like the personality of these guys like shining through. It's kind of funny. And he had that sipping tea, Kermit the Frog sipping tea hat, which is just so petty. He's so petty for that. But it's funny. It's all fun and games. They played hard. They deserve it. They deserve to celebrate and enjoy themselves. I know that they're but in good news for the Golden State Warriors, you guys did win America Tacos by winning an away game at Cleveland. So I'm wondering, did anybody get those tacos? Taco Bell was doing like if a team steals a game on the road, then they would steal tacos for all of America. And I know that they did that yesterday, June 21st, last night in the afternoon. So I'm wondering, did anybody get a taco? I didn't get a taco, which I'm really disappointed about. I had to work, so I wasn't able to get one of those free tacos. But did anybody get a taco? I hope that you guys did. I wonder, Taco Bell, that was kind of cool. I wonder if we're going to get tacos again because Cleveland won at the Oracle. Taco Bell, what's up? Let me know at GSMC_basketball. I want to know if I have another chance to get some tacos. But anyways, so, now I'm really hungry. But anyways, so congratulations to Cleveland. I think, did anybody think it was weird or cool that they had those like ski masks? At first I was like, what are those ski masks for? Those goggles. I was like, why do all the players have those like on or like around their necks? Then I realized, it's because they're spraying like the champagne and everything to celebrate, and so it's just like to kind of cover up their eyes. I mean, it's kind of cool. They looked cool, old fashioned times. They just sprayed it on each other's face and who cares? I don't know if anybody saw that clip of J.R. Smith pouring an entire bottle of champagne on some girl's head. Would I be okay with that? I don't know. Because I mean, if you're just celebrating, I mean, it's kind of funny to say that J.R. Smith poured champagne on your head, but then like, I'm going to need a shower after that. I got to go. Like, my hair is ruined. I'm sticky. I'm wet. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's all fun. So that was them celebrating that. Congratulations again to the Cavaliers. And enjoy that, Cleveland. I don't know if they have any other festivities lined up. I know, of course, there's a parade. I'm just sure Cleveland is just going to go insane these next few days. But in other basketball news, the draft will be tomorrow, which is exciting. It's another exciting time for the basketball world. A lot of these guys that are in the draft right now are young guys. Like, there's guys as young as like 19-year-olds. So either way, they're young guys making really big decisions, and this is going to be a great time in their life. It's an exciting moment. They've been working hard for all this, and the ultimate goal is to get a championship ring, and that's exciting. So this is the first step in that journey. It's been predicted basically Ben Simmons and Ingram to be taking the first and second pick, with Ben number 1 overall to the 76ers, which I was watching an interview of him the other day where he was asked what position, like how does he fit on a team, like where does he see as far as like position wise him fitting on a team, and he said that he wanted to play like a point forward, which I thought was really interesting. I thought it was really cool because we've been knowing, if you've been keeping up with the NBA at all, especially these last few years, the game is changing. Its positions are not so rigid anymore, and a lot of these guys can play multiple spots. They can guard multiple types of people. They, bigs can bring the ball down and shoot, which is just amazing to me. It's cool. I think it's great because it adds to the fun of the game as far as from a fan's point of view. But then from a player point of view, to have that versatility and to say that he wants to play a point forward is cool because it gives him that versatility. It shows that he is confident in his skills both down low and at the top, which will give the Sixers more options as far as using him. You can go small and play small ball. You can go big. So that's really cool. I know that he's been working really hard to gain weight, which is good for him. He's gained, I think, like over 20 pounds since just like in preparation for the draft. So that's good. He's working on just building himself up physically to take it to the next level. And that's something that Brandon has been having a hard time with. He's tall and he's predicted to go number 2 with the Lakers, but he's going to have to gain some weight. You just are. I know he's being compared to like Kevin Durant and things like that, but you gotta gain some weight. You just, it's a different game at the college, from the college and NBA level, and you just got to be stronger. Like, these guys are just bigger and tougher. And if you're a big, then you got to be big. So I know he's been having a hard time putting on weight. So Brandon, eat some peanut butter, banana sandwiches, I heard helps. Drink some milk. I don't know if you like milk, but do it. Wash it down with some milk and just gain some weight. That's going to be, that'll help him, as he takes it to the next level regardless. But it's pretty cool. The Celtics are, the thing that I love about the draft, and especially like this time right now, it's always changing. Literally every hour there's deals. Like I said, it's a business. The NBA is a business. And with the draft tomorrow, there's so much going on. And especially at the end of the finals now, there's a lot of dealings. There's lots of phone calls being made. There's lots of promises, false hopes being sold and things like that. And lots of just conversations with what teams are going to do as far as the draft is concerned. The Celtics reportedly just today, this morning, I read, is considering trading their number 3 pick. So that's a really interesting and fun thing about the draft, is that there's always something new. It really isn't even really over until it's over, kinda. I mean, it's a lottery. They have like the lottery pick, and it's just always moving and shaking. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with the draft tomorrow. Best wishes to all the guys in the draft. I have a friend that has declared for the draft. It's just, good luck with all of that. Really making sure, picking and sticking with guys and people around you. Surround yourself with friends instead of homies. There is a difference. But with the draft, with that being said, Adidas, I know that we talked last week that Ben Simmons did sign with Nike, but Adidas this week has signed Brandon Ingram. They've also signed Jaylen Brown of Cal, Kentucky's Jamal Murray, Providence's Chris Dunn, and then also an international guy from Croatia. His name is Dragan Bender. And so they've signed 5 guys. And again, this is just so amazing to me that these companies, are investing and see these prospects as being good enough, even without being drafted yet or without even playing a game, good enough for these deals. And so good luck with that. Of course, stick with your endorsements. Guys like LeBron, they make more money off endorsements, believe it or not, than their contracts. So, and even with all the money that they make off contracts, so endorsements, those are a great thing. Congratulations to those guys with Adidas. The other side of the draft is there's going to be lots of coaching switches and changes in staff. Luke Walton, everybody knows, is going to be leaving Golden State and going to the Lakers, which I think is going to be pretty cool because it's going to be interesting to see how he transitions into that. He did very well, of course, with the Warriors this season, but then when you have a team that has all the pieces together, that does make the job a little bit easier. He's going to be going to the Lakers, which I'm sure is a dream come true for him. Congratulations, Luke, with that. But there's no Kobe anymore, and they didn't have that great. These few seasons for the Lakers have not been all that great. And so it's going to be interesting to see him. I'm excited to see what he does with that team this season and how he hopefully turns them around. I'm a Kings fan, so I could really care less what happens with the Lakers. They can go doom and demise to them all day long. But, it'll be nice to see how Luke does with that. And so that's going to be it for the podcast today. Next week, when we come back with episode 5, it's going to be, we're going to talk a little bit about the draft, of course, and see what's been happening with the draft as well as free agency. Remember, you can always listen to this podcast or any podcasts we have of the Golden State Media Concepts Network at gsmcpodcast.com. You can listen to us on iTunes, Google Play, as well as SoundCloud. But let me know. Hit me up on Twitter at GSMC_basketball. Let me know what happens with your team this draft. Are you happy with what's happening? Are you not happy? Are you excited? Are you a Cleveland fan that's excited? Or are you a Warriors fan that's depressed? Just let me know. Hit me up. Let's chit chat. Let's talk about hoops. And I will see you next week. This is Pauline on the Golden State Media Concepts Basketball Podcast.